Today, we will be discussing the spell Daylight. Daylight is a level 3 evocation spell, primarily used by clerics, druids, paladins, rangers, and sorcerers. The casting time for this spell is 1 action. The range at which you can cast the spell is 60 feet. The components required to cast the spell are verbal, which means you speak the spell, and somatic, which means you use hand gestures to cast the spell. The duration of this spell is 1 hour. For the duration of the spell, sunlight spreads from a point within range in a 60-foot sphere-like form. Sunlight's area is considered bright light and shines dim light for an additional 60 feet. Alternatively, you can also cast the spell on an object that is not being worn or carried, causing the light to emanate from that in a 60-foot radius. Covering the object with something opaque, such as a bowl, will block the sunlight. Should the spell overlap with any spell cast as darkness of level 3 and below, the darkness will be covered by the light, and the darkness spell is dispelled. Now, Sunlight is a very interesting spell that can be used, especially when you're fighting vampiric entities. As we know, they don't like sunlight and will burst into a plume of flame. However, this can also help you light up very, very dark areas and quite possibly dispel darkness as the spell itself, depending, of course, what level it is cast with. Now, you can also use Sunlight in pretty particularly interesting situations, using it to blind enemies, potentially. You could also cast it right on top of someone, and depending on your Dungeon Master, you could be doing some burning damage, but I would put that as a stretch, depending on what kind of enemy you hit Daylight with. However, how would you use this